Well, my name is Kalle Slaap, watchmaker in the Netherlands, and you're watching Live Watchmaking. And we are going to restore this beautiful Omega. In a moment, I'm going to show you to get rid of dents like these in pocket watches. I have a beautiful tool, I'll show you in a moment. So we're going to do the disassembly, and I'll show you how to remove those horrible dents. And hopefully later this week I will be making a video, a special for yeah, how do you call it, dent removal. All and lovely, original and period, lovely perlage. What I love about movement from this era, it is not just functional, it is right in between the balance of the full-blown industrial side of watchmaking, and it's still got some artisanal stuff in the movement as well. So these are the ones to look for, because it's not just a nice pocket watch. Willem Bouwman, Wim, I fully agree. The typography, which is a hard word in itself, the logo, to make it easier on myself, of Omega is just so beautiful, period. It's not just a beautiful pocket watch, it is really high quality and accurate. Adjusted in 2 positions, 15 joules for 1925 is really high level, and you've probably seen it, the temperature compensated balance wheel, which is insane engineering in itself, and all in a rather unassuming pocket watch, but the quality is really nice. It is pretty easy to restore the screw heads, and I'm preparing a video about that as well. There, tiny bit of rust, and here the serial number of the movement, and the first number in this case is the code for the production year, and I believe it's 1925. I just sharpened all my screwdrivers again, because the 1920s movements, the screw slots are a tiny bit thinner than later on. So I changed slightly the, how do you call it, gradient, the degrees of my screwdrivers, so it fits nicely in the slots and you don't leave any marks. Again, there's a video on our YouTube channel, Chronoglide, a special about screwdrivers. There is more to say about screwdrivers than you would think. I don't do any work up front. And this is just the first screw. Yeah, there's a chance we'll find at least $40 worth of oil. It's like an oil well, do you see that? Or an ink well. It's removed the ratchet wheel, so now I'm absolutely sure there is no power on the mainspring. Then I'll remove the winding stem by turning this screw. Now we will remove the case screws, one there, and then we can open the front, the lunette, and then we remove the watch, the movement from the front. And do you already see that the different types of screw head, that one with the slanted sides and that one, you already see the function, that it's different from the other ones. Here, the one that retains the winding stem is domed, the screw, so it's completely different from all the other screws for the bridges and the cocks. So you already see the function of a screw even before removing it. It's yeah, a setting lever. It's no remontoir with the small pin you have to push in with your thumb. So already really modern. We saw a small crack. Yeah, here it is. But look at the deep blue of the Breguet hands. So there are the 3 dial feet. 1, 2, 3. Just the dial. It is still so modern. You just immediately recognize the quality, whatever brand it is. There are the 2 inspection holes for the pallet fork. This is a bit dubious, this spring, because for vintage Omegas from the 40s, 50s, even 60s, there are usually no springs like this. They shouldn't be in a vintage Omega. And I love the train of thought behind it. That spring is just a wafer-thin mint, Mr. Creosote of brass, and it's a small spring, and that is pushing this hour wheel down, in between the dial and this hour wheel, because this pinion, the height is quite small, so if it moves up and it changes position, the hands move like that, so 3 o'clock won't be 3 o'clock anymore, the difference between the hour hand and the minute hand. Omega train of thought is, well, if you design your movement so your dial is perfectly, piece of packwood so I don't make any scratches, resting here, you don't need a spring, because if your design is okay, that hour wheel cannot move upwards, so you don't need a spring. And I just love that. Well, we knew the watch had a fall, was dropped, and this is probably the reason why the balance wheel wasn't moving that easily anymore. Oh, on 2 sides. Look at that, 2 sides. Wop, wop, wow. Well, because it's an Omega, we might be able to find, because there is the number of the caliber, we might find the balance staff, and otherwise we make one. So we have to replace the balance staff. But then again, when it came here, we knew the balance wheel did have a problem. Now I want to remove the extremely delicate just look at the shape of that pivot. It's making me think that the pivots weren't that hardened properly, because there's no way you can bend hardened steel like this. It is interesting. I'm looking for a hole for the plateau, for the double roller, with at least this diameter. Then the extremely delicate temperature compensated balance wheel will lie flat, and then I can remove this extremely delicate balance spring. Instead of an oiler or a small screwdriver, in the small cut of the double roller, it's so hard to control the force to the double roller. It might split, or if you go out of it, you damage the spring over here. The collet virole is clamped, friction fit to the balance staff. So if you press something in that small cut, it will slightly open, and the friction will be relieved, so you can move it upwards. But I find it more easy to control the lift force, and where you're working on, you're not jeopardizing the balance spring. So, how beautifully machined, highly polished, and again this is extremely small. And then the black polish finish. It is a beautiful piece of machinery.